was like, I just saw you a minute ago.
I was telling Ricky if they're free, there's no calories. So, good to go.
Coffee's my friend.
When you wake up early, you're like, food.
Oh,
You wake up early?
Yeah.
5 o'clock.
I'm gonna take a fifth on this one. I always wake up early.
They're bad examples.
I'm just fashionably late. I don't
We have to call you early.
It's part of
You're
the-
important to wait.
It's like, goes.
All right,
Like, I could have been.
it's 9:30.
It's more like.
That means the show must go on,
It's more like.
but not until I turn over to Nathan.
More like you
All right, on time drawing. We have 19.
What did she say?
And the number is
12?
18.
Oh.
Who's 18? Africa!
Yay!
And you get all sorts of great goodies. You get a rock title shirt, some folders.
Read 'em.
And the
It's
silver
all-
matches your nails.
Lots of great swag.
Yay!
Got
Congratulations.
some folders.
Those folders are nice.
All right.
Some folders, some notepads, pens. All right. Here's the drill.
It's already getting warm in here. Or is it just me?
It's all that running around.
Maybe that's it. All right, so you know the drill. You need to take pictures throughout, and then at the end, check in on Facebook. Make sure that you tag me, tag. Gotta let me know when you're taking a picture. Because, you know, I do have a good side. I don't know which it is, but. So, yeah, at the very end, check in on Facebook, tag everyone around you. Make sure you tag me. This is, I'm going to get rid of this item, but my expiration is now 4/30/2025. If you need it. Rev-ups coming up. So our next 3 rev-ups, tomorrow is Module 8, Finding Motivated Sellers and Preparing to Win the Listing. Jeff is the instructor on that one. That will be at our Summerlin office, be live at Summerlin and via Zoom. And then next Wednesday is Module 9, Winning the Listing and Negotiating the Sale. That's again, that's at the Summerlin office and on Zoom. Jim's the instructor there. And then Module 10, Closing the Sale and Creating Clients for Life. And that's a week from Friday, and John's the instructor on that one. And then when we finish this number 10 up, we start all over on number 1, and then we'll be live here in this office at that time. All right, so any new agents, not necessarily new agents, but agents new to Realty One, we have our new agent orientation next Tuesday, May 9th, 9 to 10:30, right here in the classroom. No Zoom on that one. Who did one day?
Oh, Angel, you're in a picture?
Yeah, look at this, look at this. There's a picture of Angel.
You're very welcome.
There's no pictures, I've never seen a picture of Angel. And
We have Lachelle
he looks like he's having a great time there, doesn't he?
Oh, cute.
That's why we got a picture of him.
It's
So-
all thanks to Lachelle, actually, because if she wouldn't have been there, he would have hid behind the camera bag. He actually tried to.
You don't like pictures, Angel?
No, I hate pictures.
So we went to 3 Square, and this was, what was it, Monday?
Monday.
Sorry, 3 days ago. Anyway, and we, so we went there thinking that we're going to be putting box lunches together.
Go to the assembly line.
Yeah, it didn't work out that way, but you know what? Well, we volunteered. They needed us there, so that's all that matters. What we did is we had these, Michelle, we had these crates, like hundreds. How many did we do?
3,600 bins.
3,600 bins that we had to pull off the stacks, spray them down, scrub them, sanitize them. And that was 3,600 bins was enough for how many?
8,400 meals.
So they were very appreciative of us, and it was good. It really was. It feels good to give back on occasion. All right, tomorrow, Cinco de Mayo. We will have, who knows what walking, we discussed this last week, what walking tacos are. Yeah. So Jeff knows what walking, so what we have are chips, tortilla chips or Doritos, and you take the little bags, you kind of crush them up a little bit, you cut off the side, and then you put in your meat and your cheese and onions and sour cream.
You just eat it out?
From the bag, yeah.
No
So-
paper plates needed.
Well, we'll still have, all the necessary utensils and plates. But, so we will have walking tacos. Now, of course, we're gonna have alcohol. What's a Southwest party without a little alcohol, right? We'll have margaritas, we'll have cervezas, but that's tomorrow, 11 o'clock out there in the, what do they call that? The
Courtyard.
The courtyard.
The courtyard, yeah. And it's always fun. We'll have the
Cornhole.
cornhole, and we'll have other fun stuff. Last Friday of every month, we do happy hour. And this particular happy hour, I'm gonna bring my pizza oven. I have a pizza oven
Where?
right here. So I'm gonna bring my pizza oven in and I'm gonna make some pizzas.
My
Stephanie
son has
thinks
one.
I'll need to make 10 pizzas, I don't know. Will we have that many people here? Who's gonna show up for some of my
I
homemade
just made a
pizza?
commitment for that
All right,
day,
yeah.
so.
Never go wrong with a good pizza, and it's good pizza. So that is Friday, May 26th, and right here.
Good day to celebrate. Yeah, kind of. And
Kind
celebration
of.
for
How
6
could-
years
wait,
of
wait,
Realty
wait.
One.
How can it kind of be your birthday?
I have a lot of
It
stuff.
either is or isn't. How many birthdays do you have here?
It's my Realty One birthday.
All right. All right, Food Truck Thursday, every Thursday, the center has food trucks come in, and today from 11 to 1:30, Sean's Puffy Tacos will be here. I've never had Sean's Puffy Tacos, so I
No, last time we went, the line was too long and we ended
Yeah.
up not doing it.
so go early.
Oh, true.
Go early or you don't get a Puffy Taco. All right. Every week we do Pet of the Week. If you have a pet that you want to be submitted for Pet of the Week, send it to Stephanie, stephanie.wood@realty1group.com. So, they say that pets look like their owners, right? That's what they say. Yeah?
Yeah.
I don't know if mine looks, does Kobe look like me? So this is, so based on the picture, who do you think that is? Rocco. Is that Rocco? Yeah, Rocco.
Oh, that's so cute.
I know whose dog it is. You know whose dog it is?
Yeah, he's not here.
Oh, he's not here today?
No.
Paul.
No, he's normally here.
No, it's not Paul's. That's too cute to.
It's too cute for whose dog it is,
That's
too.
Oh.
But I do
And-
think there's
and
still
this-
a little bit of a similarity, like their faces
Yeah,
are both.
I don't see it. I don't see it.
You need a
So
photo of you.
who knows Zoran?
Oh, that's so
Oh.
This is
Yeah.
Zoran's
No,
dog,
I have
Rocco.
one.
I don't,
It's not Paul.
I don't see it. Do you?
It's like a.
Rocco's not
it's
What's that?
kind of like the chin, and the nose is like one. I almost used
All right, our magic words for today are,
Mark, you didn't update your slide.
what slide?
It's supposed to say May 2023, but it says April.
You're supposed to update that.
I did update it and I sent it to you, sir.
I just got slapped.
Called out for sure.
All right, so our magic word for today is What's your experience? So this comes from this book. It's called Exactly What to Say for Real Estate Agents, and it has great dialogue on basically what to say. So what is your experience?
5. What is your experience? All too often you can find yourself in a conversation where you are being asked questions about yourself, your service, and your pricing, all without the context of understanding where the other person is coming from. Earlier you learned that it is the person who is asking the questions that is in control of the conversation. It can, however, be all too easy to find yourself on the back foot with an unqualified interrogation forcing you to embarrassingly justify your existence. You can manage this circumstance proactively by simply meeting the other person exactly where they are and anchoring your discussion based on their level of experience. Instead of being challenged by questions like, how much is your commission? What is my house worth? Will I get approved? You can lead a conversation by skillfully asking a question that creates a frame for their opinion to be encased in and reaffirms your expertise in the conversation. You do this by prefacing your question with the words, what is your experience? And this leaves them obligated to share any historic references they are basing their questions on. Examples you could use in the real world are, what is your experience with selling houses? What is your experience with buying a new home? What is your experience with applying for a mortgage? What is your experience with working with a professional realtor? What is your experience with timing the market? Calmly and kindly asking questions like this immediately reverses the control of the conversation and helps you discover where they are coming from. It is possible that you uncover a distinct lack of experience that translates to a fear or anxiety in them. It is at this point that you get the opportunity to help reassure them that this is exactly what you are there to help them with. You are looking for them to literally value your experience.
So who can
6.
use...
How important it...
All right, so who can use some words like this? What is your experience? It's a great way to build rapport, have people trust you, because words absolutely do matter. All right. What's next? Stats by Emily. Emily was supposed to be here today, so I was going to actually have her do the stats, but she didn't sleep last night, so she didn't make it in. But anyway, so here's the stats. This is wrong, and I would have called her out on it, based on 2,648 sold and 5,070 active listings. There's more like 2 months inventory, maybe just a little under 2 months. So we'll get this updated for you and put it into our social media, as well as it'll go out in the newsletter. But let's look at the active listings. So right now, as of April 30th, so that was Sunday, there were 5,070 listings. Last week, there were 5,247. So we've gone down by 170-ish listings. And if you notice, it has been going down and down every single week over the past at least 2 to 3 months. It's been going down. Let's look at the active listings. So currently there's 3,905. Last week was over 4,000, so about 100 or so single family listings. Bunch of price decreases, almost 1,600 price decreases. 2,600, we're not doing like in the height of the market when things were going crazy last year and the year before. There was like 35 to 4,000 even almost sold, so not that, but still 2,600 over a month is a lot of listings sold. Yes. Median days on the market is just 42 days. So again, we educate you guys so that you guys can go out and educate your buyers and sellers. So we provide this information for you all the time. All right, Jocelyn, come on up.
Hey, everybody.
So, first of all, Jocelyn provided a lot of stuff in for our on-time drawing. Jocelyn provided our breakfast this morning. So thank you, Jocelyn.
So I don't have a lot to say today. I just wanted to plug Justin's class for Rock University at 1 p.m. He's going over the 7 real estate tips and strategies for 2023. If you guys don't know how to sign up, let me know. I will be around after the meeting, and I can get you guys all signed up.
So this is 1 p.m. Mountain Standard Time, is it?
We're on the same time now. Yeah.
Okay.
Before it was like we were
Okay.
12 and they were 1, but yeah, we're on the same time.
All right.
Yeah.
So 1 o'clock, are we gonna put it here?
Yes, I will put it.
So it's 7 real estate SEO tips and strategies for 2023. We'll have it in the classroom on the big screen.
What does SEO mean?
Search engine optimization.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, guys.
All right, thank you, Jocelyn. So here's some flyers for the next few classes as well. Next Thursday is YouTube Studio Masterclass for Real Estate Agents. The following Thursday on the 18th is 9 ways real estate agents should leverage data in 2023. And then the following is 7 creative ways to generate more real estate leads in 2023. This sounds like a good one, because we're all about creating leads, right? That's what we're here for. All right, Charity's not here today, but for all your lending needs, make sure you reach out to Charity. Her number's right there, 777-1253, and her card is up front as well. All right. This is what you've all been waiting for. So we're doing a new agent panel. Normally when we do panels, we have the panelists up here and I as moderator will ask them questions. We're doing it, we're reversing it this time. We're having new agents up here and they have questions to ask all of us. So we'll all learn by their questions. Even the most experienced agents will probably learn something based on the questions and answers. So with that being said, let's welcome up Daisy, Anna, Ada, and Vidi. Come on up. They have their questions ready. But first of all, yeah, I don't care. So let me allow you all to introduce yourself. So just your name, how long you've been in real estate, months, years, whatever it is. So, Casey.
Hi everyone, I'm sure you all see me, but I've only been in real estate since I got my license in November. I'm brand new to the actual market and to real estate.
Wow.
Yeah, so I'm pretty new.
But she has a sister that's a long time in the business.
But
So
not in the real estate.
She's learned through osmosis a lot.
Yes.
Ada.
So my name is Ada. You have to excuse my voice because I'm getting over a cold, allergies or something like that.
It's going around.
Yeah.
The allergies are horrible right now.
It's been crazy. So I'm new being a realtor. I just got my license in August. I'm really interested in learning all the things that I can learn to be a successful realtor. I do have properties of my own that I rent out, so I started in that field first before becoming a realtor. So
Awesome.
looking forward to just.
Thank you, Ada. Vidi.
Hey guys, my name is Vidi. I'm brand new too. Got my license in January. So I'm excited to learn everything. It's a lot. You know, but hopefully we can get some
good information for you.
Yeah.
Yep. And then Anna, who's actually done a transaction.
Yay!
Her own property she sold. So, and she learned a lot on that one as well. So.
My name is Ana Ramirez. I am new to Vegas. I've actually been here for like, I think 2 years. Before that, I was here in Vegas as well for another 2 years. I left because I didn't think Vegas was for me. I've done wholesale in real estate. I've actually done the door knocking where you go and try to purchase homes that are really, really like tore down. I worked for a doctor who was also an investor here in Vegas, so I did some of that. I kind of, I guess, went the other way. I wasn't aware, I didn't know like what I could do as a realtor. So when I saw what I could do as a non-realtor and why I left that profession, I did it for 2 years. Before that I did network marketing for like 10 years, and I've been doing social media content, teaching other businesses and people how to leverage social media to attract their ideal client and finding their niche market. That's a lot to say. But so when I came into real estate, I did it because people say like that's the thing that you do when nothing works out. And for me, it was like, I know that sounds really bad, but for me, for me it was like this. I've done social media and sales for more than 10 years, and I thought if I can sell a product with a rock and a pencil, because that's what you learn when you do sales, then I can probably sell a house. And then when I got into it, I'm like, I do not know what I got myself into. But I'm so happy to be here and so happy to be part of Real Team as well.
Thanks.
Cool. All right, so with that being said, let's just jump into it. Who wants to go first? Who has a question?
Me.
All right, man.
Oh, when I get it over. Okay, so because I pay a lot of attention to people. I read a lot of personality types and everything like that. So I do keep an eye on the numbers. I see who's selling, I see who's working. I also follow some people's social media. I want to know, before COVID, to the people that were here before COVID, what was working for you? And now that we're after COVID, because I guess that was just like a very special moment during COVID. Now that we are post-COVID, is that what you call it? What are you using to generate leads? Because I know that before, what was working before and what is working now is two completely different things. So I guess to the people that are constantly getting sales, before we're getting sales and are still getting sales, what can you tell me that changed, and what are you doing different to generate those leads and those sales? I know it's a really
Who's got an answer for?
Like that's the whole magic.
Yeah.
Who was generating leads before BC, before COVID, and who's generating what leads AC after COVID?
I'll take it.
Jake. Jake's not shy.
I actually do a lot of the similar stuff that I did before COVID and after COVID. The only thing that during COVID that really hurt was open houses. I'd say every open house I've gone to, I've at least gotten, if I do a weekend of it, at least one person who wants to buy or sell. So during COVID was tough. After COVID, it's all been sphere, and your farming, your social media, your marketing. But I feel like a lot of the same stuff from before COVID and after COVID is similar. If you have a system in place that works, just keep doing it, and that it'll pay off. But during COVID was a tough time because you couldn't have any interaction. But before and after, if you have a system in place, it's gonna work. Just keep at it.
Do you have is your system something that you've tweaked a little? Is it something super big, extensive? Because I know some people are like, I'm gonna do my phone calls, I'm gonna do no door knocking. The reason I ask this is because I've asked a lot of agents, what are you doing? And I think and this is because this is actually happening to me too. Coming from during COVID, I know it's just a special lottery. Everybody won the lottery during COVID, I think. Everybody that is came in and they saw what's going on, and people were buying, selling. But what I really want to know is and that is a relief, just to tell you that is a relief, because I'm learning, but everything is changing. It's changing so quick, and I know the market's gonna change constantly. But what is it what are some steps, maybe three steps in that system that that you've done before and that you continue to do today?
Follow up. If people that I've sold houses to, people who have showed interest, I constantly follow up with them, whether it be a text message every couple weeks saying, hey, just thinking about you, want to see how you're doing, to a phone call to ask them how they're going. Not always selling business, but just selling your relationship with them. That's number one, is just following up and keeping in touch. That's the main thing. That's most of my business is organic, doing that, just calling, following up. Social media, people will see something and just say, hey, what's the market looking like? And as soon as they ask a question, I continue to follow up with them. So that's the key, is follow up.
got something for you.
Yes.
I wouldn't say the market has changed so much. What's different now and then is the interest rates. I mean, as far as how we're working, there was a lot of opportunity with when the interest rates were low. So we were able to buyers, sellers. Now the market is switching a little. I would say we're going into sellers. You do have to keep your buyers though as well, because we need those to buy.
Here's the thing,
Yes.
the market is always changing. You know, the COVID period was weird, it really was, but things after are really similar to before, except as Natasha says, the interest rates. So, the market is always changing, so we have to learn to change with it, yeah?
I have a question.
Yeah.
Real quick, just because I know your ball's rolling. I want to ask, what advice would you have for a new realtor that wants to stand out and succeed in a competitive market? Like, right now, it's like you have to know somebody, you have to use your sphere, but what would you say will make you stand out against everyone else? Like, advice would you give?
Who's got something?
Authenticity.
Personality, be a driver, like, be hungry. People will notice you like that. Enthusiastic.
I love that, Natasha, I really do, because I get asked that question a lot. What's the difference between successful agents that are doing it and making it in the business and those that are not? And the biggest thing, I've had a lot of agents, and in my mind, when they're sitting across the desk, I'm thinking, this person's gonna be really, really good, or oh my God, this person's gonna suck. But no, agent count, you're hired. No, it's not that.
He's like, that's one word for me. I gotta go.
But here's the thing, some of those agents that I thought would be crap end up being really, really good, and for the one reason is they have drive. Is those agents that have the drive, that put in the hard work, those are the ones that are successful. You know, they learn, even though they may not have the skills up front, is they learn those skills, and they're doing their lead generation.
I'm sorry. One of the things, you're gonna learn through experience. I hear a lot of new agents and they're like, I just wanna learn the business. No, that's not how you learn. Right? You don't learn to brush your teeth by watching somebody. You have to get in there, dig in, dissect, and then that's how you learn. I mean, there's no really other way. That's,
When I first started in the business,
How many years ago, Linda?
2004.
Woo!
So yes, I'll admit, I'm not a heavy hitter. I dictate my flow. Most of my business is repeat or referral. So, but I want to say, when I first started, we formed a group of new agents, and we stuck together, and we had weekly goals. We met once a week. One thing that I thoroughly enjoy doing is we visited like new properties, and then you'd post on social media, and you expose yourself as doing things and letting your sphere know that you're out working. Whether it's out showing homes, whether it's, visiting new home developments. If you don't have any appointments or you have a light day, go visit new homes, because you're actually working, because the more you know, the more you can tell your clients. So it just getting knowledgeable about the market, areas, parts of town.
Absolutely.
So.
I have a question.
Yeah.
How do you deal with difficult clients? If they're rude, do you just leave them talking and leave?
I pray at night, I zen.
Or what do you do?
Jeff has an answer over here.
There's two types of agents. There's agents that let their clients run their business, and agents that they run their business.
There you go.
In my office, I run my business.
Right.
I don't let a client be rude, or I actually shut them down. And the thing you have to realize is you don't be afraid of firing a client.
Yeah.
Right.
You know what? I don't care what they're buying or how they're buying, if they're that bad. Now, I've dealt with extremely rude. I had one that she would get drunk at night and call me and want me to come over, and then she'd go and scream at me and all this. I closed it, but it's just like, not her.
He's like, I'm
not. A year and a half later to sell the house, I told her absolutely not. We don't fit, and all that. But you there's a thing of mirroring your clients. I mean, I do wonderful with New Yorkers.
He didn't
direct-
say marrying, he said mirroring.
And like, you know, like, I prefer a direct person, the soft ones that, you know, just can't, you know, just make a decision. Those are my hardest ones, but, you know, just, you know, you need to stand up to your clients, be professional, and treat them with respect. And if they can't treat you with respect, then that is that where you have to come to, you know, hey, maybe this, you know, maybe we don't work together great.
Yeah.
You know, or something like that. Hey, I know somebody that would be perfect for you, and you talk to the other person, get a referral out, and let them close it.
Jake has an answer.
Along with that, in our business, we have to realize when buying and selling a house is extremely stressful for the client.
Right.
So they're gonna have their moments where they blow up.
Right.
And if it's not an all the time thing, like Jeff said, get rid of them, but if it's sometimes, we kind of gotta be their, you know, their shoulder to, you know, let them vent, you know, within reason, obvious. But it's a stressful time for them, and if you kill them with kindness and just kind of let them know you understand how they feel,
Exactly.
a lot of times they feel comfortable with you, and then they start to respect you more, and that will happen fewer and far between.
If they continue to abuse you, don't be afraid to let them go.
Right.
Don't be afraid to fire them. Now, it's really difficult if that's your only client. So, been there, done that.
Right.
So the key to that is have a lot in the pipeline. Have transactions under contract, so that when you do fire somebody, it's really not a big deal. It really isn't. And the other thing is, what you do, like Jeff did and said and did, is if you do close the transaction and the person was a total, excuse my language, asshole to you, delete them out of your database. Because here's the thing, people refer people like themselves. Do you want a jerk referring more jerks to you? So delete them and don't do business with them again. Ricky.
You know what, when I first got into real estate, I had this little lady that would come to see me every week. We'd go out, we'd look at houses, I would take her to the grocery store. Finally, after about a month and a half, I asked her, I said, now, in all of these homes that we've seen, you haven't found anything that you like to buy? And she goes, no, sweetie, I decided a long time ago that I didn't want to buy, but you've always been so nice to me.
That part.
I just kept coming back. But you know what, it felt like a kick in the teeth, because when you're a new agent, that's like all you can see is, oh my God, I got a sale. But she referred like 5 family members to me. So if you can suck up that rude client, you may be, at the end of it, they may look at you and say, you have been the best thing that has ever happened to me, and you may get a lot of business from them. So you kind of have to weigh that. Is it you feeling like they're being rude, or like he said, is it the stress of their not knowing? Because you don't know what you don't know, they certainly don't know.
Right.
You know? So, kind of balancing it.
So another way, if you, expectations, what is your client expecting? If you educate them the process, the methods, you know, the home buying process, once your house is in a contract, they can't really get mad at you if something blows up, or if they didn't. You know, I had a recent first-time home seller, and he was mad that his money wasn't wired at 5 p.m. at night, but I said, remember, this is how the procedure is, that normally it's the next day, if it's not, you know, Friday. And then, of course, he humbled himself. It's like, oh yeah, I'm right. So education also avoids those pitfalls between those clients. You know, whether you're out taking them in the beginning, you've got to educate them about market conditions, you know, the buying process, etc. So I think education is vital in controlling your clients.
Absolutely, the education and setting their expectations.
Yep, exactly.
So that, and here's the thing, you know, you're gonna have phone conversations where you're gonna be talking about, you know, those type of things. Follow it up with an email. It'll stick a little more, and then you can always remember when I sent you this email.
Exactly.
Remember when we had this conversation. So yeah. Thank you, Linda.
You're welcome.
Ada.
So, as a new agent, do anyone have any tips as far as like time management if you're working a second job, or you're, you know,
Time blocking, structuring your day, what
Yeah.
you do, you know, what a normal day in your life, in your shoes as you get to do things.
Whose question is this?
yeah, just being more organized and managing your time management so you don't get so overwhelmed and burnt out.
So who here, when they got into real estate, or maybe still, worked another job? I did, yeah. And so what'd you guys do?
I would love to. I'm trying to transition to that.
Right. I got lucky. It was an easy transition. But yeah, I was like, I can't do this anymore. This is too much because I'm like running to the back, like trying to like, send paperwork and doing stuff on my phone. I'm like, I'm sorry guys, I'll be there in a second.
Right, it's
I
tough.
couldn't- It was really hard.
But you need to keep your, I mean, some people do, it just depends on your why, or if you need, if you need it.
Yeah.
Right, because everybody's home situation's different.
Yeah.
Somebody doesn't have somebody to lay.
But
or
organization,
depend
and I'm still working on organization.
Well, I always say if it's not in your schedule, it doesn't exist. So make sure that any appointment you have, you stick it in your schedule. Any call that you have to make goes in your schedule. Because if it's not in your schedule, it doesn't exist. And you forget to do it.
Do you have a fixed hours for work?
I work 3 12-hour shifts, so I work Tuesday, Wednesdays, and Fridays. And I thought with me doing that I would be doing real estate 4 days a week, but I realized it's 7 days a week is continuous.
Right, because you're working on your client's schedule, not your schedule.
Right.
You could be networking at work. What do you do?
I do. I work in the hospital, so when I have downtime, I
The
sneak away and
doctors,
do.
the nurses.
Well, I do that, but I got phone calls coming in, I'm doing my work, and then I got people calling me, texting me, and I'm trying to be on top of everything.
Because we want to get in and talk
But
to
you
the
know what?
doctors, right?
Even if you're full-time real estate, you have appointments that you may be in a listing appointment that's lasting 2-3 hours. I don't know who takes 3-hour listings, but some agents do. I think Daisy probably would, because she likes to talk.
And express.
But you know, sometimes we're in appointments, and that's okay. And you can put that in your voicemail. You know, I'm in appointments all day and return my phone calls, you know, at such and such time. That's okay.
Also, just team up with another new agent or something. If you have something comes up that you need help with your client, you can hand it over to that other agent. You guys can work as a team. That would help.
Yep, yep.
Because
She
your
could do a
client
showing
always
for you.
comes first. Make sure that you cater to your client, you know, because that's most important. So just team up with someone.
And many times our clients already know that we have another job, and that's okay as well. So, you know, part of, you know, setting expectations is you let them know, you know, I'll be unavailable from this time to this time.
And upon negotiating or teaming up with another real estate agent, you just work out an agreement with them as far as like compensation wise and so forth.
Make sure you work out any agreement beforehand and in writing.
Definitely, write it down.
Yes. Thank you.
What are some common mistakes you see new realtors make and how to be avoided? Like, what can you give us advice that you see a lot of new realtors do, and how can we avoid this? Like, what would you say that you see people doing, like, why would you do that? Like, or why would you do that?
Common mistakes.
I would say I've worked on the opposite side of newer agents, and I know they're newer agents, and I'm more than willing to help them, but they try to put on a front that they know everything, and it makes things very difficult because if they would just be open and say, I know when I was new, I would say, hey, just want to let you know I'm new, so let's do this together. But now that I'm more experienced, I have newer agents who try to front that they're experts, and it just makes it a lot more difficult because they're not open to. It's like if they're in the wrong, they're gonna do everything they can to try to show that they're not in the wrong rather than fixing it. So just be open to let people know, hey, I'm a newer agent. Let's work together on this. Or just be very open. If somebody gives you advice, even if you're working on another transaction on the opposite side of the transaction, just be very open to what they're saying.
I have a question in regards to his response. So, what about the negotiation of whenever it's like the negotiation part? Whenever they find out that you're a new agent, what I've noticed is that when they do know that you're a new agent, I don't like to play ego. I like to be very, very humble and like very open. But I've noticed that they do kind of take advantage of us.
I would tell your clients.
Some will, some try.
That's
I use ChatGPT.
Always talk to Mark if you have any questions. Talk to Mark or talk to another agent and say, hey, I feel like, they know that I'm new, I feel like they're trying to, steamroll over me. What can I do? Ask for advice, and people help. You don't need an answer immediately. It's usually, negotiations or over a short period of time. Come meet up with Mark and say, hey, they know I'm new, they're trying to throw all this at me. What should I do? Sometimes we're scared to push back because we don't want to lose a client for our sales, or for our sale for our clients.
Linda.
But always remember, your client is the decision maker. So if the experienced agent is trying to bully you into making a decision, it's like, no, I can't make that decision. I need to consult with my client. I'll get back to you. And then you call Mark, what do I do? But you always have to remember that it's the client's decision.
Great. Yeah, in Amsterdam, I had she's like, I sold 500 homes. And I'm like, well, okay, ma'am, but I legally cannot disclose, anything about my seller. And she's like, I'm just very transparent. That would probably be like a situation. Like, I am not a newbie. And then she's like, I called her broker, and
And sometimes you just need to say, yeah, let me go ask my client.
Yeah, don't argue with
them over here.
Yeah, I just say it's good. Like, no expectations. What it's gonna take to get a certain result. What actions are you gonna have to do to get a certain result? And I think that's a lot of what new agents, they don't have no idea. What is it gonna take for me to get a deal? How many calls do I have to make? Who do I have to contact? What do I gotta say? And so contacting like a mentor, or partner, asking any other experienced agent will definitely help. And the second thing I say is focus on lead generation and making contacts instead of stuff like building a website, that kind of technical stuff, because you're just gonna run dry, and then you're not gonna have any paychecks.
Lead generation, that's the business you're in.
And then just practice talking about real estate, getting to know what to say, when to say, and who to focus your energies on and who not to, right? So you're not wasting your time.
Charlotte had a question.
I just
Or
wanted to
an
touch
answer,
on
I should say.
A couple of things that people have said. I think that in my experience, being upfront with the other agent, whether they're a listing agent or a buying agent, I've had a lot of great conversations with them, where instead of looking at them as an adversary, and I have run into some that are a-holes, that aren't at all my ethos, right? You can tell, I know what kind of people all of you are, having worked with you here in the office. I think you're all very authentic, you're very kind, you're very generous hearts. So, but I do think there are a lot of agents out there that aren't like that. So they're willing, like Brian said, I think you talk to them, and both of you want the deal to happen, right? Both of you are working towards the same objective. So you're not necessarily, even though to some degree you think you're adversaries because they want the best deal for their client, you want the best deal for your client. Really, if you talk about what's the best for them and what's the best for us, how do we meet in the middle and get there? In my experience, you can have good conversations to get there and get more information than you think you can to get there, right? To find that happy medium. But I think a little bit when you're a new agent, and I went through this, very much so for a long time, having super high expectations of myself, a little bit of the imposter syndrome, where you want to, you think everybody knows what you don't know. You're sure that every client and every agent knows that you don't know 1,000 different things about the transactions, the contracts, the negotiations, the house, whatever, the market. So it's okay to ask, right? And it's really, that's what this support system is here for, where your broker, the other agents in the office, and I think teaming up with people, super important, right? When you're at work, have an automated text reply that says, I'm not available at this moment. If it's if you need to contact someone immediately, my partner can be reached at this number right away. And just have that. So if you're at work and you're on shift and you can't answer the phone, if something comes in, you can send an automatic reply. So you have peace in your mind that it will get handled if it needs to be, right? And you don't have to worry about, because I'm sure there's a lot of anxiety constantly. Like, I should be doing this, I can't reply. What's gonna happen to this contact, right? This lead, this could be a sale, but then I'm gonna miss it. So I think if you establish some kind of relationship with somebody that can have your back, right? And it might just be to get back to them just so, they don't feel ignored, right? The actual transaction or negotiation the urgency isn't necessarily with that, but your desire to get back to them is. So sometimes just having somebody else who can do that for you, if you can't set up a timeline to do it, or I'll return calls after this time, And then the last thing I wanted to say is in terms of pre-qualification. So I just went through a situation myself after years of working with someone who I thought I knew very, very well and trying to find their first home out in their renters. They've been working on their credit history. And I thought the goal was to get to a certain credit score, thinking that that was like a golden thing. And then had been working for the last year after multiple, like 3 years of home searching to get up to a certain credit score. Then we went to actually run the credit and right before several different offers and found out that it wasn't just the credit score, but it was the credit history of delinquencies. And that has screwed me and them because we thought the client thought they had been working towards getting to where they needed to be to get to 680 or a 700 credit score, but in fact, there's more than just the credit score. There's the history associated with that, and the delinquencies and charges have put them in a situation where they have to put 20% down, and so that kills everything. And you would have thought that I should have figured that out a while ago.
I've got something for you guys. And then, like she said, ask questions, but your due diligence, that will help you with like confrontations with agents. Make sure you do your due diligence. It's like your 10-day, because the older agents will get you on that.
Oh, like the writing and the actual wording they use on the contract to make sure you give yourself.
Whatever the contract says, make sure that you know,
Right.
and
Exactly
you
what those
know
dates
that,
are.
I need to get those inspections done before this time. I need to make sure that the appraisal is done before, so whatever the contract says, whatever the side of the transaction you're on, make sure that you know those.
Yeah.
Try to reach out to your client and remind them, let them know before they reach out to you. Some people are real hands-on, they're gonna be wondering if they're always trying to reach out to you, they're thinking you're not on it.
Yeah. And this is where the presentations, either a listing presentation or buyer's presentation really helps because you are educating them and you're putting all their expectation right there on the table. You're letting them know if they're a buyer that, hey, you're gonna have 3 contingencies, you're gonna have this time frame. We have to keep moving. And then when we are in transaction, just remind them again, remember we have these dates. And those dates you need to meet.
Yeah, because you can lose your client's money.
That's right.
Maya has something to say.
Suggestion, you guys know we have the revamp classes all the time, so just take all the contracts. Just come to the classes and learn.
Right.
If you're new and you have questions and no one is available, just take that advantage, just come to the classes, you learn a lot. There's no one available there for you, just come to the classes, and if Mark is not available, and always make sure, always make sure when you're teaming up with somebody or you're getting with somebody, another agent to help you, make sure that's compatible to your personality. Sometimes you guys don't get along because your personality is not the same, so that's important too. The same with your clients, you have to know who your client is to help them better.
It's learning the contract. I mean, there's, even older agents don't know this stuff, but I mean, it's a simple one. I ask you, when does due diligence start?
Me?
When does due diligence start?
The day after.
Oh, hold on, let them answer, guys. They're the new ones, okay?
20, is it the 24-hour?
Yeah, it starts the next day.
Next day is day
Agents
one.
think it starts immediately upon ratification.
Right.
And then, I mean, I will be one of those agents when you call me on that 10th day.
Right.
Thinking it's the 10th day, and I'm like, yeah, no, this is the 11th day. You were at due diligence at midnight last night.
Right.
You know, it's a lesson to learn, and it's a hard lesson to learn. If you have a really tight agent, they're gonna say, no, you're out of due diligence, so we're not doing anything if you didn't send me a response. But just small things like that, ordering the resale package in 3 days.
Right.
Knowing that on the 15th day, it now because if you don't have it, it's 15, right?
They have to receive it within
15 within 15 days, yeah, they have to receive it, no, it's 15.
The listing agent has to order it
No, what I'm saying is
too.
it has to be, you know, you have to receive it in 15 days, and after that, as a buyer, you know, so it's just knowing those time frames and knowing what, you know, is in there, you know, will help you, you know, and don't be afraid to ask.
So know your contracts, and if you're working with a buyer for the first time, read the contract to them so that from that point forward, you don't have to educate them. But most importantly, they cannot file a complaint and said, he never told me that, she never told me that. If you, once again, set precedent and educate them, then your risk of getting in trouble or putting your client at risk
Right.
is almost negated.
That's really, really, really important advice that
Mhm.
you just gave. Know your contracts,
Contracts.
inside and out,
Mhm.
so that you can, you know it, internalize it, so that you can explain it to your clients. Don't be that agent. There's a lot of agents
Slow
out there
down. Have
that
no
just,
clue.
they don't have no clue, and they just say, sign here, so they know
That's
exactly
right.
where to sign and where to initial. But that's all they know about the contract.
Companies, those contracts, sometimes like I had a new build, it's a different contract than what we have.
Correct.
So,
Yep.
obviously I
We
call
can't,
everybody.
it can't be expected to know everything.
Exactly, so I did let my client know, like, I'm just saying, like, I asked a lot of people that I see here in this room, which I'm very thankful, by the way, how to go about it, because I don't know that contract, it was this thick, literally, I'm like going through the whole thing, but I'm just letting her know, like, when you convey this to them, you're not, as an expert, I'm an expert in my field, but at the same time, their contract's different than mine.
Right.
Yeah. There's things
Right.
that they do on there, and they say their contracts changes all the time.
Yep.
So,
So with today's technology, it's easy to send a client a contract. Let's say, first offer you're writing for a buyer. Okay, I'm gonna send it through DigiSign. So they may think that they're just gonna go through and click, 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 but say, no, I'm gonna go over it with you as you're clicking along.
That's me.
So that once again, you are educating them, but you're covering your ass also.
Yeah.
Because the last thing you wanna do is just have them sign and click and then they come back after you.
Yeah.
Ken has something to say.
And as a new agent, if you're going through that contract with your buyers, it helps you learn as well, right? So you're creating that experience with them, but you're also setting the right expectations with that buyer. So, I mean, if you're not doing that now, I suggest doing it because it really does help. You're training yourself and you're also educating your client.
And like Maya says, don't be afraid to go through, rev up, once, twice, 3 times. Maya comes, she's 13 years in the business, she comes to rev up classes, Jake comes to rev up classes.
If
So,
you mess up, they will
don't-
try to
don't-
sue you.
Also, especially a lot of us,
That's scary, right?
English or don't understand
scary.
Just educating, that's very important. When someone cannot read the whole contract in English, you know your material, explain it, because then they're gonna say, I don't know where I signed.
Yeah.
So then we're in trouble.
Yeah.
That's right.
I do that, I actually go over on the buyer's presentation, I go over the purchase agreement, because when actually there is an offer to write and send it, it's gonna be difficult for them to sign within the minute, because they're gonna have those questions. But if you're gonna be writing multiple offers in 2 weeks for them, you don't wanna sit there for them to sit there and wait. So you go over the purchase agreement at the buyer's presentation, and then you also give them a copy of a blank one, say, hey, read this through, I'm going through all the main things here that you're gonna be noticing.
I like it.
But read through all of it, so when you do get an offer for e-signature, you're not questioning, oh, what am I signing? You are already knowledgeable and informed.
What are the 5 top things you guys would want to bring to our presentation? Like, that's your top things you come for a buyer's presentation or a listing presentation. Like, you have to have in your hand and you're ready to go, and this is where you're gonna go over it.
Yeah, see, for.
They're completely different. Buyer's
Yeah.
presentation, this is
Totally.
100% different. So you can't say, I'm gonna have this for both presentations, so.
Everybody caters to their own, just like lead generation, everybody does it differently.
There's a
Whatever
buyer's
works for them.
package and then a seller's package.
Yeah.
Right.
Ken has something to say. Ken?
Ken?
Yes, another thing, we work in this amazing office. Everybody is pretty open to share best practices. Come into this office as a sponge. I know I hounded almost everybody in this office when I first started, and just be super open to hearing feedback, because I mean, that's how I learn.
The culture in this office is amazing, it really is.
So for sure, on your listing appointment, you of course always wanna take your CMA, market.
Yeah.
That comes.
Yeah.
Also,
There it is.
make sure when you go on a listing, you're actually, when you walk in first, ask them if you can just tour the house first. While you're walking through the house, make a note of each room, what they're mentioning, what they're saying. So when you actually sit down and you talk about the pricing, you can mention those things that you saw that's positive about the property. Oh yes, we can get this price for you because you have this, you've done this.
So next week,
Confidence
next
and a
sales
ruler.
meeting, we are going to be doing a listing presentation role play, where Paul Gladowski is going to be the agent, doing the role play, and we'll have, a couple people acting as husband and wife.
Nice. I went in.
So let me ask you guys a question. Can I do that?
Yeah.
What do you guys think the job of a realtor is?
To find people to buy and sell.
To make friends with them.
To
make money.
I don't know, I guess it's just to help out people, you know, find the right home for them, you know, and in the way, make friends, just like she said, within the office and outside as well.
Okay, Ada?
Networking and giving back to people.
Okay, Daisy?
To find people who are ready to buy or sell or invest in a house, because that's what I'm getting paid for.
She is 100% correct. Your job, this is the best advice I can give to you, your job is to find people that want to buy, sell, or invest in real estate. That is your job. Sure, you need to know how to show homes, you need to know how to write offers, you need to know how to do listing presentation. All that is really important, it really is. But your job is to find people that want to buy, sell, or invest in real estate. There's like 35 different ways that you can generate leads in this business. Just pick and choose 4 to 6 lead sources and do those at a very high level. But if you wake up in the morning and you don't have an appointment with somebody that's looking to buy, sell, invest in real estate, you should be doing whatever lead generation that you have decided to do. Until you find somebody that's looking to buy, sell, until you're able to set an appointment. Question?
Any more questions? I have one more. Okay, so whenever you're doing door knocking and we go to a community that has been, like, many agents go to, how do you sell yourself? What makes you different? Because a lot of the times when you're door knocking, most of the people don't know, like, oh, this person just want me to sell my house, or
Come with confidence and knowledge.
So first of all, not a lot of agents door knock. Not a lot of agents at all. So you don't even think about, there's been 10 other agents here. No, there really hasn't. The second reason is know why you're there. Why are you there door knocking? Are you there? I door knocked a lot to promote open houses. So I'm there to promote open houses. Yeah, why are you there? And then ask questions. So there's a great book called Secrets of Question-Based Selling, which is really good. So make sure that you ask questions, ask open-ended questions, and ask questions, listen to the answer. Watch, not only listen, is watch how they answer it as well, because that's going to set you up for the next question. Not just, this is a script, so I need to ask this question, this question, this question. Scripts are important, don't get me wrong, but you need to listen to their answers, because that's going to set you up for the right question to ask them next.
I have a question.
Yep.
Is there anything you guys wish you knew before starting this career in real estate?
It's a great question.
What ideas?
So is there something you wish you knew before starting in this industry?
Yeah, one thing nobody tells you.
What?
You paid your first paycheck. Don't expect to have it in 30 days. After 30 days, you got your license. At least 3 months. So if you have another job, keep it until you start moving forward with real estate.
You're not gonna make a lot of money unless you know a wealth of people ready to buy and sell as soon as you get your license. You just have to work at building your sphere and your business.
Kind of, okay.
Well, I don't know if this answers your question, but the 3 things that I see agents do wrong. 1, you don't work for ROG, Century 21, or Berkshire Hathaway. You work for yourself. It's your business. Treat it like a business. Get up each morning like a business person, like a CEO of a Fortune 500 company. Know what you're doing, know where you're going to be, and know what you're going to do. Stop working in your business and start working on your business. There's a difference. In your business, set those times aside to work on your website, to do this, do that. On your business every day, and I asked Brian this, right? What's that question I asked you, Brian?
What did I do today to get a piece of business?
What I do today to make some money. at least every day, one thing, make that one phone call, write that one letter, send that one card to make money. It's not gonna just fall in your lap. It's not. We're worse than restaurants, 1 in 5 maybe make it. Well, 1 in 10 realtors make it. Not to be harsh, but that's the truth.
Reality.
If you're not working to make money, so you gotta do something that does that.
I have an answer to that question, is somebody mentioned commission, so I think Lonnie mentioned commission. So what a lot of agents do when they get a commission check, what do? Spend it, right?
Louis
They
Vuitton.
spend it. And then they get another one and they spend it, another one they spend it, and then what happens comes,
Drinks are on
January, February, March, before April 15th.
Taxes are due.
Taxes. And so many agents are, oh shit, I owe $25,000 to the IRS.
That's a good one.
It's happened to a lot of us. So here's my advice to you, is when a commission check comes in, and you should have 3 accounts: personal account, a business account, and a tax account. So when a check comes in, 50% of it goes to your personal account, 30% of it goes to your tax account, and 20% goes to your business account. Spend everything, all your business expenses come out of your tax account. You never touch, or come out of your business account, sorry. You never touch your tax account, and then the 50% is for your personal. Now, I started this years ago, and I had ex-wife number 2, I think it was. Maybe it was number 3. So I told her that this is what we're gonna do when commission checks come out, and so I told her, I have a $300,000 sale coming up, and they say that agents, we can figure 3% out of any number like really quick. Well, so can your spouses. So when I told her that, she goes, "Oh, so we have $9,000 coming in." And I said, "No, I'm reminding you that this is going into personal, this is going into tax, and this is." Right. So not only do you have to have your self-discipline, you have to discipline your.
What is the most?
Yeah.
What is the most important qualities a new skill, or to develop a successful portfolio? I guess you think a new agent needs to do. Like, what is the most successful things somebody could do, or qualities they can do to better themselves to basically execute?
Find out what your strength is. Don't target everything. Don't go door knocking, cold calling, blah blah. Focus on what you know, what you do best, and then
things will come.
Yes.
Educate yourself. Educate. I'm standing here looking at this book right
He
here.
wants to talk for an hour.
I don't know whose book this
Give him a
is.
chance.
Corner. I should have sat in the corner.
Okay, go ahead, Nathan. I do wanna hear what you have to say.
But educate yourself.
Well, a little bit about the last question first. Like when I started off, I was an entrepreneur, and I always like to start my own businesses, but I had the wrong mindset. I was like, felt like I had to reinvent the wheel, do everything myself, where I should have went and worked for a successful brokerage, successful mentor, right? Work for free for them, for $5 an hour, whatever, right? Just to gain that knowledge instead of trying to do it all myself, right? Back then they didn't have teams and stuff like that. But it really I would have got where I wanted to go a lot faster if I would have partnered up or worked for someone that was doing what I want to do, right? And suck it up, work for free if you have to, right? I'll give you one example. So I was actually doing mortgage loans at the same time as well, with the same license in California, and I could have went and worked for Countrywide Financial. But I was bitching about the splits. No, the splits are too, I don't want to split, I want to be on 100% or whatever, work from home. I mean, I would have probably made $300,000, $400K a year working for Countrywide Financial doing loans in 2002.
Right, until they died.
So, okay.
Until they died.
Okay, you go out there, network, sell yourself. Okay, bring your business cards.
Network.
Yeah.
That's awesome. All right, one last question. Who has it?
Ken does.
All right, then we'll give the last word to Ken.
Yeah, the one thing that I wish I knew going into this was actually I wish somebody would have maybe educated me about was creating a Google page, business page. I'm gonna tell you right now, I promoted myself so much on media, but I wasn't getting any like calls or texts or anything like that. Once I created that page, people are Googling my name.
Yeah.
And then I'm getting messages. They're like, hey.
Are you getting business off of your Google ad?
Yes.
Oh my goodness.
I
have
had a meeting earlier.
Google me, you guys.
This morning, that's why I'm late. Because I got a message yesterday, last night. Hey, can you look at this house? Blah, blah, blah. So definitely create one. It's super easy to do.
So my free Google page.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's the best thing. Yeah.
I have got
People are
two.
gonna Google you.
Okay, so I'm gonna talk to you.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, thank you, ladies.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, everybody who participated. You guys. All right. No matter how you slice it, this is a choice. Let's go out there and be great.